So, I want to tell you about a show I just started watching. A little preemptive for the episode because I feel like when I watched this movie, I thought of the show in some parts. I'm watching Atlanta. Have you ever watched Atlanta?
Wait, with Donald Glover?
Yes.
Yeah, man, I've been a fan for years.
Okay, I'm watching it.
I also have a, I don't think she listens to this podcast, but I love her. But she dated one of the characters.
Wow.
Who wasn't a great guy.
Paperboy? Oh.
No, not the main ones, but he's a periphery one, and I could send him to you later, but he wasn't a great guy, so I don't want to talk about him, because he doesn't deserve any nice thing. But I love that show.
Wow. I just started... But I'm, I do a little zoom sometimes. So I think I'm in the second season, and I fucking love it so much.
It's so smart. Isn't it smart?
Yes! I think you had been the one, which we definitely probably talked about on the podcast, that they did a whole episode about the Goofy movie, but it was like... It's the blackest movie ever made.
Oh,
and it was just like this whole made up backstory about the Goofy movie, which is so fucking funny. So I had watched that episode like by itself, and I was like, this is so funny. I should watch more of these. And then I just hadn't, but now I am, and I'm just enjoying myself so much because it's so fucking funny.
I will say that, who is this, Darius?
I fucking love him! And I feel like I know people like him. And I'm like, wait, how do you get through life?
One of my favorite, I don't know when the episodes are, because anytime a new season comes out, I'm kind of on it. But Donald Glover was talking about how he's like super broke or something. Yeah. And then Darius is like, hey man, I know a way to like make $1,000 bucks. Yeah, wait. I quote this scene all the time. Do you want to share it? You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about, and that is one of the episodes that reminded me of this movie. That I was going to mention at that point. And I'll still mention it, but...
So it's the scene is Darius is like, hey man, if you're broke, like, I know a way to make some money. What do I need? I need like $50, and then I'll make it like 1,000. And then Donald Glover's like, hell yeah, here's my $50. And then, I don't know, either time goes on or something, and he's like, hey man, so when am I gonna get that $1,000 or something?
He's like, 5 months.
Yeah, he says something, and he's like, no, I'm poor now. Like,
now.
I'm poor now. I can't wait for an investment late. I'm poor now. And I just remember being like, that is such a beautiful way to just be like, yeah, I need you to really understand how bad my circumstance is that you don't get.
So I don't know where I read this, but the show of itself is like done. And it's very rare for TV shows nowadays. The creator, which I guess was Donald Glover, but maybe it was also someone else was a writer.
Oh, okay.
Whoever it was, they were essentially saying, like, we chose for it to end, which a lot of times, like, shows just get fucking canceled, and then you're like, wait, the story's not done. And they were saying how they were like, we wanted it to end where it ended because we felt like we finished out all of the characters, like, central storylines and all that stuff. But they said, and now when I watch it, I'm, like, constantly thinking about this, they're like, there's this, like, theory that people have, and they kind of, like, didn't say if it was true or not, but they alluded to it, that when you start the series, it kind of starts with this whole subplot of, like, there was a shooting, but we don't see the shooting happen, and then we're led to believe some other man got shot, and our main characters are alive, and life is good, and then you get to the end of the series, and the guy was saying that, like, it's possible that the entire series was all a dream, and okay, so as I'm watching it, I have that in my brain, and there are so many fucking parts in these episodes where just, like, random shit happens, and you're like, wait, that doesn't make sense, but it's funny, so I laugh at it, and I'm glad it's there, but then I'm also like, oh, wait, is that, like, is that because it's a dream? And it's like, like, there was one episode where they're at a fucking club, and some guy's like, oh yeah, he has an invisible car. And then Paperboy's like, that's not real. And he goes, look at these pictures. And he's like, no, that's like fake. And then literally at the end of the episode, there's like a shooting or something. And then you see the guy driving away in an invisible car. It's so fucking funny. Oh my God. So anyway, yes, I will reference Atlanta again in this episode. And it's so good.
It's done so well. It's because most shows don't give like black people full representation to really, really, really be in it and, like, cut to the chase. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of having some bullshit plot line that, like, walks around it. They just, like, get right to it and it's hysterical.
It's so fucking good. Highly recommend.
Donald Glover's brain between the singing, like the rapping and the music career and this, I'm like, you are truly an artist. Like, your brain is just like...
killing it.
And I don't know, did you see his latest one where he was like a CIA agent with...
with Maya!
With
from
Maya.
15.
That was pretty good.
That was good.
All right.
That was good. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well, who knew to talk about Garden State, you got to start with Atlanta, and then you got to go north.
We're going from Atlanta, we're going to Jersey. Get ready.
Here we go.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters. Sisters who've seen it.
Hello there.
Welcome back, listeners.
What's going on? Are you in New Jersey?
Jersey. Are you in the Garden State? Okay, can I make a critique right here, right now? Because this won't be the last.
Oh, okay.
New Jersey's near and dear to my heart. I'm New Jersey's biggest fan. Not enough flowers for me. Painting the picture that all of the country thinks of New Jersey, which is not New Jersey, which is that it's full of concrete and smog. And that's just not true.
I thought they had a lot of greenery.
Where? In the quarry or whatever the fuck that was? That was a big hole. Like, it's just... I don't know. I just thought we could have some more atmosphere, but...
All right.
Okay, well, let me introduce ourselves.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, listeners, we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And good luck exploring the infinite abyss. That's a line that's said unironically, and then it's hipster. I don't know. That's the moral of the movie.
What is the movie?
Okay. The movie is Garden State. And there's no fucking gardens, if you're wondering, okay?
2004, written, directed, and starring Zach Braff.
All right, before we get into it, how do you feel about Zach Braff?
Okay, I'm so glad.
I want to know.
Okay, so
because it's 2024.
I know. But I'm just gonna give some history. Okay,
give me some history.
I was a Scrubs fan. Love Scrubs.
Me too.
And I thought he was great. And honestly, I felt seen because I do daydreams like that. Like his whole character, how he like goes down. That's how I live my life in my head all the time. And so I remember when I saw it, I was like, Zach Braff, I get you in this character. And so I just immediately liked him. But then I learned, like, later, he's kind of like jerky in real life. But I don't have specific data points to that. So I was on the fence. And then when I saw this movie, I gotta tell you, I was like, he's like so much younger in it that I'm like, oh my God, he was so cute. And I don't know why I don't feel the same way about it, but is it because now I know more? So a lot of PR that is influencing me, but I have actually no data points. So I don't know why.
I don't know if this counts as a data point because it's all right. So remember the show Punked?
Yeah.
By Ashton Kutcher, who himself has become a problem, and so maybe that's part of why I feel like unclear if this is like fair or not. But Zach Braff was on a Punked episode, and I remember watching it like when it came out, like whatever year that was, and it was something like Zach Braff had a really nice car, like some sports car, and they did something where they made it look like the car got like scratched, but it didn't. And that was going to be the Punked. And then it was a little, like, kid on a bike. Or maybe not a little kid, but like a 13-year-old boy on a bike. That was going to be the one that's like, oops, I scratched your car. And then it was like, you got punked, crazy. But when they did this, Zach Braff, like, started screaming at the top of his lungs at the 13-year-old boy. And, like, uncomfortably. And then was, like, cursing at the preteen boy. And just off and off and off to the point where then Ashton Kutcher came out. I was like, hey, it's Punk'd. And then I think he cursed out Ashton Kutcher, which I'm like, everybody on Punk should curse out Ashton Kutcher. So, like, I understand that, but I don't love yelling at a kid. So I'm conflicted too.
Maybe I saw that too, and deep down I'm like, I think he's kind of a dick.
I don't know, but I don't have any other data points aside from that. So listeners, if you know any tea, give us the tea. I love tea.
Well, one of the things that I read a little bit about, but I'm like, okay, if this is like your first movie, how the hell did you get all these freaking stars in it? And he went to some like performing arts schools as a kid, and so I think he's kind of well off and privileged, and so I went to school with like Mandy Moore, and I think he also went to school with Natalie Portman, and that's like the connection there and how all of these other people then got into the mix. But this is a jam-packed cast, and this went to Sundance. This won the jury award at Sundance.
That's how it got bought by Fox Searchlight Pictures, and take a big exhale, Miramax. Which, some of the scenes I was like, this feels like Miramax would like that. So hate it.
Yeah. The only thing that made this movie like a little better is they're like 26 and not like 16 or 12.
Right.
We won't forget you, Penny, in Blue Crush.
Oh, yeah.
Is it your synopsis?
I could have sworn I did Soul Surfers. I blacked out.
Okay. We will remember I did this one. The movie starts off... Well, let me read my one sentence.
Oh,
Hold
please
on.
do.
Where did I watch... Oh, I watched this on... I didn't pay for this.
This was on Hulu.
Oh, I watched it on HBO.
Oh, okay.
So, an emotionally stunted actor experiences an awakening when he returns to his New Jersey hometown for the funeral of his mother. Okay.
I kind of like that, and it's so funny because I just pulled up the IMDb description, and it says... A quietly troubled young man returns home for his mother's funeral after being estranged from his family for a decade. Quietly troubled is different than emotionally stunted. You know? I think those have different...
I agree.
So, I like the one you read better.
Okay. So, Zach Braff, okay? Like him, don't like him, he's the star. So, if you hate him, skip this one.
He's in every scene.
He's literally all day, every day you see him.
Every fucking scene. Okay.
So, we, like, right off the bat, there's a lot of telling, not a lot of showing in this film. However, I did like the writing, so I thought it was fine. But we learn his mom dies, so he has to fly home to New Jersey. And he's in, like, LA. And you basically see him being kind of, like, a struggling actor, but more in the periphery of, like, you're waiting tables and, you know, all that kind of, like, this sucks stuff. And, you know, he clearly doesn't have a ton of money because he's, like, living in areas where, like, his room had, like, didn't even have artwork or the walls or something. It was like a sad
but I'm not
bed.
gonna lie. I was like, is that like your personality? Is this like American Psycho where like you don't have emotion and you like things to be the color white? Because I'm ready. I'm always ready for a movie to dive into horror when I'm not expecting it, but
I'm not.
That wasn't what happened.
It was not. And so he flies home and his dad is played by Ian Holm.
I screamed Bilbo Baggins! Ash from Alien! Wow.
Like, how did he bag that guy?
I don't
know.
Bilbo
Baggins.
Bag him.
So, his dad and him don't have a great relationship. You learn that early on. And it's kind of this whirlwind. Like, you get right to the burial, then there's, like, the funeral party, and then it's kind of all of his friends that are like, oh, man, like, I see you're back in town, and, oh, I heard you're back in town, and come hang out. And he kind of just pretty much avoids his dad, who's like, hey, we should talk, you know, your mom died, do you want to talk? And he's like,
Mama's dead.
I'm going to go to my friend Barry's house, or I don't even know. And, you know, he ends up reconnecting with Peter Sarsgaard.
Yeah,
Sarsgaard.
not a Skarsgård.
Not a Sarsgaard, a Sarsgaard. Where
Sarsgaard.
anyone that has seen this guy, you know him. You know this actor.
He's done a bunch of shit apparently, but I couldn't name something else he was in. But...
Oh my god, he's done a ton. Wait, we can name some. Hold on.
Okay, let's
go.
We
gotta give a little cred. We gotta give a little cred.
Says he was in. He was in the Batman.
He was in
That's
Dope Sick, Jarhead. He was in some scary Green Lantern.
Oh no, poor guy.
The Skeleton Key. Like just in all these.
You're just picking out the horror movies.
Jackie O. I don't know.
The Orphan. Oh, was he the dad? That's funny.
Yeah, he's in like. I mean, it's like a zillion movies. He's just always like supporting cast. That was a tangent. Sorry. So he kind of, starts to hang out with friends, and he kind of is getting into all these like weird, random situations that are a lot of people that are like, oh man, here's what I do now. Cause like you haven't been back in it. I thought it was 8 years, but is it a decade? Was it 10 years?
I thought it was like 9 years, but then there was a point where like somebody said something about an age, and then I was trying to do math, and then it just wasn't. The facts were not lining up for me, so I don't know the answer, but I think he says at one point he's 26.
Well, because if he's 26 and then high school you graduate at 18, that's 9. No.
That's 8.
8.
So maybe you're right. Maybe it is 8, yeah.
So 8 years, and, some of his friends have kind of become, like, townies. Some of his friends have been successful. Some of his friends end up as a cop, and he's like, what in the hell?
Oh, that was so real.
And through all these random circumstances, somehow he is like, hey, Dad, my head hurts, and I need to go to the doctor, and he meets Natalie Portman.
Oh, boy.
Wowie.
All right. Do you want me to say the really not great comment now, or you want me to say it later?
Let it out.
Okay. I really, at one point, had a very serious question about whether or not her character had some brain damage. And I know that's like so fucking mean. I don't mean it as an insult. I genuinely meant that because like she was at the neurologist, and then there were a lot of comments where it was like, well, she forgot stuff. She forgot important things. And I was like, those are symptoms of like a TBI or brain damage. I don't know. I'm just trying to like figure out what's going on because like,
well, listeners, which are most of you are men, our listeners, this was written by a man, and this character for the love interest is you're missing a little bit of who women are.
She's a manic pixie dream girl.
Yeah, she was very much like, because basically he's like getting his leg humped by a dog from a blind woman, and so Natalie Portman's laughing at him, and then they have a meet cute. And then in the next 4 days, they fall deeply in love, go on all these crazy random things, and the movie ends up with them together. And I'm really not simplifying the plot. That's kind of it. The movie is in the mini scenes. It's not in the big story. And the only woven theme is, his mom, we'll talk about, was a paraplegic. And we learn as part of the movie, it was his fault as a little kid. Because he like pushed her, and she just so happened to fall in a way that damaged her. And so he had all this guilt, and he was on medication his whole life. And up until coming here, he stopped the medication. And so I can't wait to hear your professional take on that. That's a whole other shit. And then he's discovering all these different things. And, as he goes back to LA, does he stay? Or then he brings her to LA? I don't know, but it ends with them in love. And
I thought they were really going to end up not together. And I was like, oh, cool. I like that. And then it didn't. I was like, oh.
I think honestly, don't worry about the plot. The movie's pretty cool, scene by scene.
Yeah.
I was genuinely, like, entertained, but I didn't go away from the movie being like, I'm inspired. Or, like,
no.
I just kind of took away that, you know what? That was pretty good. And, these scenes were, like, kind of interesting or shot different, or you could tell, like, they were very well thought out. But the overall, they had really, really good actors, like, nailing it. And it was very much like Love Actually meets New Jersey. I don't know how else to say it.
I actually felt like, and now I'm going to look up what year, I got a lot of Elizabethtown vibes.
Oh,
did you not?
Yeah.
Oh, but Elizabethtown came out the year after this, Elizabethtown stole from Garden State drama. Oh my god, I take it back. But, like, there are very similar plots. So, like, emotionally unavailable men who claim they don't ever cry even though their lives are sad, and then a parent dies and then they learn to cry again. And you're like, we could have just cried at other times.
Check out our Elizabethtown episode if you want to learn about that.
Oh, boy. That's where we're sitting in lawn chairs with mosquitoes, yes.
Let's get into this, Kate.
Well, we do start off with, we're working as a waiter at a Vietnamese restaurant.
Which felt Japanese.
He said it was Vietnamese.
I know he did, but when you looked around, I was like, this looks Japanese, but
I couldn't focus because I was like, it's definitely racist to put slanty eyeliner on.
Yes!
This is the early 2000s, you guys. I feel like we had a little more wherewithal, but I did,
Not Zach
in my
Braff.
brain, I blamed Miramax, even though I don't think technically that was Miramax's fault, but, like, I'm still gonna blame them, I think we just should. It's not great, but it's showing, like, see, his life is so lame, and he's in California. And also, one of the first scenes is, like, a plane. I am assuming the plane he's taking to New Jersey is, like, looks like it's about to fucking crash.
Yeah.
And then it's slow-mo and everyone's panicking and he's just sitting there. And I was like, it's not a great character introduction because I don't like you.
Yeah.
Because you can say you don't feel emotions, but, like, does that also mean you're not empathetic? Because that just means you're a bad person. Like, you're not selling me on liking you, Zach Braff. I don't know.
I think his, like, once you meet his, like, lunatic friends, he starts to look better, right?
I guess.
The one thing that I read that is interesting is, like, the big headphone trend. Right? Where, people walk around with huge headphones. They say that this movie was, like, one of the biggest influences on that.
Well, that sounds like a hipster statement if I ever heard one.
We
did it first, everyone. Is Zach Braff a hipster? Is that what the lesson is?
I don't know if he was saying, like, we did it first. It's just when you read the internet, they say that in terms of fun facts. But, yeah, the plane scene was weird, and you have, like... Okay, but the music's great. Isn't the music great?
It's just so, like, it's just very emo hipster.
It's super
That's
emo.
That's why, Mel, shouting you out, Mel.
Hey,
you
Mel.
definitely made a playlist from this movie, I'm sure.
It was good. And, he gets home, and does he literally show up?
Yes.
At the cemetery?
Yes.
Now, Katie, we grew up in New Jersey. Do we have cemetery memories?
Well, we lived next to a cemetery for many years, so I have lots of cemetery memories.
Oh, yeah.
Not sad ones, though. More like, is there a ghost around this headstone? And there never was, which was sad, but... yeah. I was distracted because they had a keyboard and a lady with a microphone. We never learn who this lady is.
Is she an aunt? Was she, like, supposed to be an aunt?
She has to be a family because she's like, we haven't seen you, and where have you been? And I'm like, what? And she's singing, she's once, twice, 3 times a lady. And I was like, who the fuck picked this song?
I can't.
I gotta go. It's not okay. It was a lot of weird graveyard moments, and this is where he sees his, like, old friends, but also, if he hasn't come back in 8 years, I'm assuming he also hasn't spoken to anyone, and I'm sorry, I don't say hi to people I haven't been friends with in 8 years. I don't go up and be like, oh, thank God, it's you, where have you been all my life? Like, that's not how we do that, I think.
Well, so I honestly wouldn't believe that these people would be like, hey man, how's it been? But I think they kind of saw him at the funeral and was like, hey, what's happening? And then I think everybody took pity,
like,
rightfully
we feel
so.
Bad for you.
Well, kind of. Everyone's like, hey, I heard you're back in town. I also heard your mom died. Like, everyone literally just kept saying that to him, so.
He also gets a lot of attention because he, I guess, is an actor. And they're like, yeah, you were in that movie and TV show. And that's a whole nother can of problems.
Natalie Portman says that
the R word.
The R word, like,
80
10 times in one sentence.
Yeah. I just, again,
Okay, we're gonna go back to the brain damage.
This wasn't, like, 50 years ago, you guys. Like, this was, like, recent.
his now sidekick becomes Mark, who's Peter Sarsgaard, and Mark is like, hey man, you know what? If you're around, blank is throwing an epic party, and blank is their other friend who was, I'm trying to find this actor's name. Who the heck was this?
With the glasses and the Velcro, but it's not Velcro?
Yeah. It's like hard to like see actors because then
I don't
they like grow up. But basically one of his other friends, let's just call him Bob, I don't know. He sold a patent where he like created Velcro that didn't make the noise when you unstick it, and then he became like a millionaire. It's
Bridge, is this like a product you need to design?
Should I make this?
I don't know. I mean, you're in product development.
So,
I don't know.
But everyone's like, oh, he just basically has parties all the time because he like literally lives in a mansion and he's 26. So that was kind of funny to me too, because in 2004, that was like Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg like just getting like the popularity, and it's not what we thought Mark Zuckerberg is now. Okay, right. It's like him as a kid, and then there was this theme really in the early 2000s, and I remember feeling it as a kid where it's like, well, why can't you just go be a bajillionaire? Like, go do that. Go do what this person did this, and then they became a millionaire, and go do this and do that. So
is that kind of like how I just said you should go make that patent?
No.
No,
I'm talking in specifically 2004. It was like, you know, the start of like the tech rise, like real tech, like really insane money. But what was funny about this is, you know, New Jersey is a very weird state where you have areas that are like not wealthy, and then you have areas that are wealthy, and it just seemed like his friend, they were probably this somewhat trying to be middle class, like upper middle class or middle class, and his friend then all of a sudden becomes like known to be the rich guy. And when he asked him, how's he doing? He's like, I'm actually really sad and bored, and I don't really do anything in my life.
And then you see in his house at one point, and there's no furniture. And I was like, do we need group therapy? Maybe you should buy a therapist to hang out with you, because like everybody's just so sad.
And then he like at one point he lights an arrow on fire and throws it and shoots it into the air, and Natalie Portman thinks that she's gonna get hit by a flaming arrow. I
hated it.
And I know that we have a longtime listener, John. Okay, I don't think Mike, your friend Mike, has an arrow that he lights on fire, but I know he came into some money. And is this what happens when you're in your young 20s? When your one friend comes into money, do you do crazy shit like this? Write us, okay? Write us.
That was the moment where, again, we could have gone horror. All right? All you need is an arrow through the forehead, and we're in it, okay? But they did it. Zach Braff said no, and it was fine.
Okay, but we've lost the plot.
All right,
sorry.
Wait.
Okay.
We have a party. He takes ecstasy, and he's still like, he's just like a walking corpse. And I'm like, I don't care for it. So what I do care for, though, is that Jean Smart gets the fuck on screen. And I was like, thank fucking God you're here, Jean. Where have you been all my life?
You see, like, you go from Ian Holm.
Yep.
Peter Sarsgaard. I keep saying Sarsgaard. And then all of a sudden you see Jean Smart, and then you look to your right, and you're like, is that fucking Jim Parsons?
Jim Parsons!
This was his second film ever.
Wow.
And Peter Sarsgaard is the child, Jean Smart is the mom, and Jean Smart is dating Jim Parsons. Okay, Katie, I just went to visit New Jersey. And I want you to tell the story of why Jim Parsons' character is relevant to our brother Jimmy. Where did Jim Parsons work in this movie?
Oh my God, medieval times! Oh my God, yes. So here's our obligatory talk about our brother Jimmy during each episode. Our brother Jimmy likes to go ham. It's go big or go home. Some call it bougie. And he was bougie at medieval times because he bought him and our sister-in-law and our niece VIP medieval times tickets. You didn't know they had VIP? They're fucking VIP. They were front row and center. Our niece got a flower. If you've been to medieval times, you know how important that is. Like, it was crazy. And there's a really amazing photo that now is framed at our parents' house of them.
The only reason that we heard this story is because for our mom's birthday, they printed out a medieval times photo of our brother, his wife, and daughter, and now it is hanging up on our mom's mantle. And that is what made me lose it, because I was like, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life, and this is perfect. So anywho...
But I gotta mention, because Jean Smart is so awesome, I did not right away realize she was supposed to be the mom. I thought she was just like another party goer, because she's so cool. Yeah. And then I thought that Jim Parsons was just another party character, and then I realized, oh, that's like your mom.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. Is she gonna be in the movie more? Oh, she's gone forever. Okay, I'll miss you.
Well,
bye.
And she was doing this really kind of funny thing where she was like bragging about the son, and then like bragging about like the boyfriend, and like, she did it in just this really funny way. And Jim Parsons, I honestly thought he was like mentally challenged. Because
I just, there was
she was
a
like,
lot.
honey, do you like your like cereal with marshmallows? And then later on you're like, wait, they're having sex? Like,
and then he's like speaking Klingon in the bedroom, and I was like, why does she know Klingon? Oh, we're never gonna learn because she's already gone and I'm sad? Okay, bye.
And we only know that he's a knight in medieval times because he's wearing the armor for breakfast.
This is the thing though, like, I get it. I get it, Zach Braff. You had a hipster playlist and you wanted to be hipster. I get it, but like, it was a lot. There were moments where I was like, this just feels like it felt like Zach was a manic pixie dream girl when he wrote this movie, where he's like, we gotta be quirky. What's gonna be quirky?
I gotta tell you, I kind of loved it. I kind of loved it because I was like, this is so... It got a lot
for me.
At some points, I think the whole is absurd, but the
and the dog balls.
Oh my god,
too many references.
So many. We saw a dog jerk off.
Yeah, and humped.
Yeah, and by the way, that dog's name is Magoo. And
hope he got paid well.
Underneath it says masturbating dog.
Oh my god. I'm upset about it.
What if Bear's IMDb page just says masturbating dog?
I would be so upset.
Okay.
He's pure. He doesn't know about that.
But wait, the one thing at this party that I want to like call out is like, listen, I feel like it depicted a pretty decent party. Like, think about 2004. Nobody was... 2004 were like, Can't Hardly Wait, and some of these absurd, like, this is a party, and wow, here's the football guy, and like, this, to me, in 2004 felt like an actual party.
But they were also, like, in their late 20s, though. So I was like, is that real life?
Well, if we want to bring up our brother Jimmy again, and John, I know you're listening. I lived in the basement while you guys would party into your mid-20s. So, I'm sorry, 2004.
All right.
But I guess maybe they should have been younger, to your point. Maybe it could have been, like, 23-ish.
There just was no purpose in all these people being in their late 20s, because none of them have, like, I don't know, serious careers, and a lot of them are living at home, so it's like, you could have made them, like, 21, and kept everything the same, and it might even worked better if they were that age, but I guess Zach Braff wasn't 21.
Well, and, like, college is weird, because then you have to, like... Yeah, I guess after college, that's 21, 22. Yeah, I don't know, but that... I thought those were good, and yes... There's, like, naked girls that are, like, making out, and you're right, he doesn't respond well. And I thought, is he gonna go have sex with this girl? Because he's gonna be like, my mom died, let's go have sex. And then that doesn't happen.
I thought also that Zach Braff's character was a hypochondriac in the beginning of the movie, because we do see, like, he's got 8 billion pill bottles before he leaves California, and then he just doesn't have emotions, and then he's like, I'm getting headaches. And the dad was like, eye roll, whatever, go to the neurologist. And I was like, is this like, does he have like that going on? And then we find out when he goes to the neurologist, like, oh no, you're literally just taking so many different prescription medications that are for like some pretty serious mental health diagnosis. I mean, lithium is straight up what you would give for either bipolar disorder or even like schizophrenia. And those are like very serious mental health. And I was like, so does he have that? What do you mean? And I don't think he has any of those things.
So, like,
and
his
he's like
dad
mixing
was just, like, drugging
things.
him?
Yes! And that's why I was like,
fucked.
what do you mean? And listen, here's my opinion. he says, like, yeah, I didn't bring any medication. I'm not taking them. And my question is why? Because if you go 8 years where you're not at home, but you're still doing every single thing your dad prescribes you to do, why now? Why is now the time where you're like, I don't need it? And you never...
But his mom died. I mean, that's the catalyst.
But why
to all
would he
this.
stop?
They don't address it, but...
That's what I mean. I just didn't like that part where I was like, I wish you, like, had... Even if you had one line where you're like, maybe I want to try to cry. And then I would be like, I understand then. But he didn't say any reason. He just was like, yeah I just don't have them.
Well, and I'm like,
uh-oh.
Aren't you supposed to taper? Like, you're not
Yeah,
supposed to, like,
you
stop
are.
Immediately.
You can have withdrawal effects for some
that's
medications.
what I
You
thought.
just
Oh, he
stop
has
'em.
headaches because he's having withdrawals.
Well,
But you know what? Thank God we had a headache because we got to meet Natalie frickin' Portman.
wow, she's a trip. Tell you what.
Okay.
Okay.
So she's a pathological liar who
But,
has
like,
epilepsy
okay, but the
and kills a
lying...
lot of gerbils.
Okay.
If
But the
that's her
lying
dating
thing-
profile, I think that's pretty accurate to her character.
I just was like, is that just another, like, quirky? Like, I don't think that's, like, we don't have, like, no doctor was like, this is your, like, we don't have, like, a fucking, what is with Whoopi Goldberg and, Angelina Jolie.
Oh, Girl Interrupted.
We don't
Check
have
that
any
episode.
we don't have any pathological lying, a la Girl Interrupted happening here. I think it's just, like, quirky.
Yeah.
But that's why I thought there was some, maybe, like, our memory's been impacted by a head bonk, or... I actually, for some reason in my brain, I thought I remembered her having brain cancer, and then that was, like, and it was, like, a secret, but then she just has epilepsy, which is, like...
Yeah, because epilepsy has nothing to do with, like, your brain.
Well, it does, because...
But it doesn't change the way you think, right? It just means you could get seizures.
It doesn't change the way you think, but if you had a seizure and you, like, fell to the ground and hit your head...
Got it.
That could be serious. Or if you're driving and you have a seizure and you crash, like,
Yeah.
there are moments where I could see it being like that, but that wasn't at all part of the plot. It was just like, I have epilepsy. And it was like, okay. And she's like, that's why I have this helmet. And I was like, uh-huh. Anything else?
I think...
Is that it?
I think if TikTok was around in 2004, she'd be self-diagnosed,
She fucking definitely would. Are you kidding me?
Because she kept being like,
wow.
Hey, aren't you that guy, that actor? And I recognize you from this. Oh, I'm talking too much. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. And then, aren't
quirky.
you this? Aren't you that? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm so annoying. And so the only reason that they see each other again is, I guess, after the appointment, she's outside, he's leaving, and then they just keep They just have like a little chat again.
They literally, it's like, I'll drive you home, and then she's like, great. And then somehow he's like, anyway, let's go to my friend's mansion.
Okay.
She's like, great. And then she's like, and now you come to my house. And he's like, great. And then she's like, and now we hang out in my room and talk about our feelings in life. And he was like, great. And I was like, whoa!
This is the Love Actually part.
This was
Katie?
definitely Love Actually.
I'm all, if you meet the love of your life in a doctor's office, and you're
Lord.
like, hey, that person's cool.
Which doctor's office?
I don't know. I don't care.
Okay,
I love it.
sorry.
Okay? But if you tell me, yeah, so they gave me a ride home on, like, this weird motorcycle, and also, like, then we went to their friend's house, and then they came over, I'd be like, Katie, too soon. Can we, like, go home and take a beat and search them online, make sure they're not gookies? Yeah, but it's 2004, so, you just get a ride home from a random man you meet, and it's so cute. You just wrap your arms around him. I was like, what in the frick is happening?
Can I give you another example of how I felt like Zach Braff needed quirky things in this movie to be avant-garde?
Let's do it.
Okay, Natalie Portman's character has a
What?
brother adopted, but I don't think legally they are adopted, brother who is a black man, who she then goes on this whole crazy-ass backstory about how he was a literal starving child in Africa that they used to send money to something. And then one day he went to Rutgers. Shout out Rutgers. You're ruining my mental health this week, but I love you in so many other ways. Where it's like, oh, he's at Rutgers and he would like rather like live in a home. So we just like, now he sleeps at our house and he's my brother. And I was like, what? And it's absolutely nothing with the plot at all. And I was like, okay. That's okay. All right. It's quirky. It's so quirky. It's quirky silly. It's great. I checked the bingo box.
By the way, that actor is also a super famous actor. Ado Asanto, if I'm saying that right.
Okay.
He's been in a zillion movies. If you go to his IMDb, a zillion. I saw his face, I was like, I know you.
Yeah.
Okay. The only thing that I thought that was supposed to show is when you walk into their house and see the gerbil tunnels all over the house, I think Zach Braff was like, uh-oh, there's a Christmas tree up, there's gerbils, what's happening? And I think she was like telling that story to basically say, which is very a little white savior, but it's, is like, hey, we're also good people because, like, you know, we're always down to support people. And so now he's here and we're supporting him. And so, you know what? We might be a little weird, but we're also, like, kind.
We might kill animals, but we're kind. Okay.
And then immediately she's like, you killed another hamster because of the wheel? What happened?
I can't explain it at all.
The hamster couldn't get on the wheel, so he couldn't eat and drink, so he just dies because I want people to really understand. If you haven't seen this movie, and you look at like a gerbil, and you see like a gerbil, like tunnels, if anyone's ever seen that, they had this all over their house, like it was like level 7,000 on Mario.
Yeah.
And it was like crazy. And then how many gerbils were in the pet cemetery? At least
Bridge.
15?
The pet cemetery. That's where I was like, guys, you got another opportunity. We got another opportunity before it. But we don't do that. Yeah, there's like 80 dead, I assume gerbils, but who knows what else is out there? I don't. And then this is the moment.
Wait. And then her mom also is like, do you want to see your ice skating film? And this is how we know that she has epilepsy, because she's like, she would have gone to the Olympics, but she has epilepsy. And we're all like, And Zach Braff is like, at this point, he's like, yeah, let's keep going. Like, what's happening?
I thought that was going to be the moment that the mom told me, and she had a horrible accident on the ice, and she hit her head really hard. And that's why, you know, just look around, you know, and like, it's just going to make more sense. We could have done that, but it's, I don't know, epilepsy or something weird.
Can you imagine? I'm just like, can you imagine? You meet this guy that you're like jiving with, and you're like, I'm just gonna go bring him to my house right now. And then our mother is like, Katie, you killed another hamster. And that guy's like, oh yeah, let's go to your room. Like, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it was weird. They also, like, he opens up about, like, his mom dying, and then she, like, starts crying, and he's like, oh, don't do that. And I was like, are you sure you guys, like, do we really jive? Like, do we have the same values in life? Like, I don't know. How do we feel? Because I kind of fucking I hate the Manic Pixie Dream Girl trope, but I felt like it's a separate trope where it's like, the woman has to fix the man. Yeah. Because men don't have emotions, and the ladies gotta make them understand it. And, like, we did have the exact same thing in Elizabethtown, and I didn't hate that movie, but, like, I just don't like the trope, and that definitely is, like, what's happening, and it's crazy. Well, here's my note right here. Does Natalie have brain damage? There it is.
Well, and she has a lot of moments where she's like, we're not going to make out. And he's like, well, I didn't think we would make out. And so there's a lot of anxiety coming from her. And then to your point, when she's burying her, 70th hamster.
Famous jelly.
He kind of tries to make a joke. And she's like,
it's not funny.
It's not funny. I was like, okay. So to your point on, I don't know, the death scene, and he's like, I've been at a lot of I've been at a lot of cemeteries lately, ha ha ha. I don't know, I kind of just thought, this is weird. Like, now she's being serious. I don't know, I felt like she was all over the place, and I kind of thought, why are you so insecure? I'm so confused. Like,
well, you know what would make it make sense, Bridge?
Who?
Brain damage. That's what would make it make more sense. And that's not a knock to anyone who has a diagnosis of anxiety. I'm just saying it would make sense why your words get jumbled. It would make sense why you forgot to take the wheel out of the hamster. Because guess what? Now you're just a jerk. It's just a Zach Braff and the fucking plane not being kind and empathetic to their people. Like, now you just look like a jerk when you could have made a better excuse for why you look like that, and it makes me not think you're like that. And
But what happens after this? Do we go to another party? What do we do now?
We go to the mansion, and they're swimming in the pool, and Zach Braff, definitely can't swim, and then they're all like, you should go sit on the steps, and I was like, oh my god.
So the swimming, wait, we gotta give context. His mom died in the bathtub by drowning.
Okay, wait.
And it's because she's paraplegic, and I kind of was like, I wanted to know more there, but I think the swimming pool scene, I thought they were trying to show, like, the trauma of that, and then very quickly I was like, oh, JK, he can't swim.
Yeah.
So that was, like, they were all, like, weirdly looking at him, but I'm like, is he, like, freaked out about water? Like, is he having, like, a moment? Like, a bottled up moment?
Oh, no, he just couldn't swim.
He just couldn't swim. So.
Okay, the mom dying, too, I also thought we could have gone
been the dad.
That could have been dad that killed mom for the alimony or the life insurance. Like, we could have fucking done that. And I really was waiting until the very last scene where he talks to the dad. And I was like, here's the moment. The dad's going to admit it. The dad's going to say, you know what? I held her head under the water. I did it. I was sick and tired of it. And then Zach Braff shoots him. And, I don't know. That's just how my brain works sometimes during these movies. But none of that happened, guys. None of these wonderful story beats did not happen. If
somebody is paralyzed and they take a bath, how the fuck do you not go check on them?
Okay, and do we remember what lies beneath, people? All right? Because she almost died in the bathtub when she had her something medical, something where she couldn't move, and, it's just not good.
Yeah, we kind of just blow past that.
We do. But he can't swim, and then there's a whole monologue he does about, like, what does it mean? What does home mean? Yeah. Is it a house? Is it a family? Is it a memory? Is it people? And then I don't even think he comes to a conclusion. I think he's just monologuing. But this does lead to him sharing the backstory to all these people because he says, I missed out on some childhood things, meaning, like, he didn't learn how to swim because he was sent away to, like, a school after he, pushed his mom and the whole thing happened. So that's, really bad and sad.
I found the quote.
I hate it.
Do you want to hear the quote?
Yeah.
You know that point in your life when you realize that the house you grew up in isn't really your home anymore?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, even though you have some place where you can put your shit, the idea of a home is gone. And it's like, well, I mean, if you never fucking talk to your dad for 8 years or visit, like, yeah. And now your mom's dead, and all your memories of her seem to be horrible, so you seem like you had a really fucked up life.
Yeah, sure did.
Although he goes on and on and on, but you won't have this feeling again until you create a new idea of home for yourself, for your kids, the family you start. Maybe that's all family really is, a group of people who miss the same imaginary place. Hello, this guy's gotta go to therapy. Am I right?
Jesus Christ. Well, and that's another fucking, conversation that comes up in the movie where it's kind of like, why are you taking 800 different medications, which is not okay. That's a problem. And your dad's your psychiatrist. That's problem number 2. And then problem number 3 is you're not doing any therapy to work through this shit. So, medication doesn't magically make your life better. You have to change, the way you're thinking. Medication helps you think more clearly and be more in control of your thoughts and decisions. But it's not going to change, your thought patterns and emotional reactions to things. So, What are we doing, bro? And then at the end of the movie, that's when he's like, and now I'm off to therapy. But then he doesn't go, and he just stays, I don't know where, so I don't know if he really gets there.
I am pro-therapy. For all you male listeners, I hope you guys got that support. Women too, but, more men. And one of the things that, as a kid, so did you ever watch this as a kid?
This movie?
Yeah.
Garden State? No, I'm pretty sure I only watched made me watch
I don't mean 9. I mean whatever, 18 or something. But I remember thinking it was boring. I remember someone made me watch it and I was like, this is boring. And now that I'm older and can follow the plot, or not necessarily the plot, the writing and the very nuance of the scenes, I liked it better. I think this is a better older movie.
Yeah. So well, and it definitely hits more, I think, with because there's more time to think back on when you're older, as opposed to when I'm 18, it's like, you feel like you've had a lot of life experience, but not really. And then, you know, you're not going to maybe get that experience until you maybe, like, go away to college or somewhere else, or you live somewhere else, or whatever. Who the fuck knows? But, Bridge, there... all right, let me frame this as a question, because I think I blacked out.
This part of the movie, I was like, what the fuck's happening?
This is where we will talk about Atlanta in a second. The friend, Peter Sarsgaard, he digs graves.
Yeah.
Okay. Does he steals things from graves? That's correct.
He steals the jewelry
from the dead bodies
that are dying and
I'm supposed
already
to,
dead. Yeah.
And again, I'm supposed to like this.
No,
I'm supposed to like this person.
I don't think any of us like him.
Okay,
but yeah, he
because
tries to make it back up now.
Yeah, this is how we get into the Atlanta subplot, where we go in the Atlanta episode. They go to a thrift store, they buy a samurai sword, and then they sell the samurai sword for a dog, and then they sell the dog for future puppies. And that's basically what this is, where we go to I don't know, a store, and then we kind of steal stuff, but we don't, but then we get money, and then we go to a hotel. I can't say it because I just want to scream Miramax, but they didn't write the Zach Braff did, and I like
say it. Give the listeners what's happening.
They go to a hotel where you go, I guess, between the walls, something, and you can look through holes in the walls and then watch people have sex.
Yeah.
Which, it's like illegal, right?
Listen, guys, you get to your hotel room, give a sweep. You get to your Airbnb,
sweep. Yeah, definitely give a sweep. Definitely give a sweep.
We're talking infrared cameras. Look, shine that flashlight on your phone. All right, you really got to look around because you don't want anyone seeing your shit. Okay?
I didn't want to see it. I don't think we even needed to go there because all we do is we get told to go to a quarry.
Wait,
Couldn't
do
we
you
have
know
called on the phone?
Do you know who that bellhop was?
Who?
You're gonna die.
Who?
It was Method Man.
What? What?
That was Method Man.
Was he bored that day? What's happening?
Well, and I kind of like the point of that weird journey was that Method Man then told him where the other dude is for the quarry. But the whole fucking point of this insane shit was for Zach Braff to get back his mom's jewelry that his friend stole. So we didn't need to go on this fucking journey, and I didn't understand this big giant quarry hole, but I guess they thought it was cool to look at. So Zach Braff kept being like, where are we going, dude? Where are we going? He's like, just trust me. And Natalie Portman was, thank God, horrified at the porn peeping Tom shit.
Yeah.
I was too. And then I saw Method Man and I just started laughing. And I was like, what the fuck's happening? And then we go down some creek. And then we're in the woods, and I'm like, okay, we're back to Jersey, because this feels like Jersey. There's always got to be some sort of woods somewhere.
Got to be in the woods, yeah.
You're in a neighborhood, then you're in the woods, and that's New Jersey.
Yeah.
And then we go, and this was another famous actor, Dennis O'Hare from White Lotus.
Yes, and he was also in a lot of American horror story seasons.
Oh, drink every time Katie says horror in this episode. Horror! Go back to the beginning. So he is this. Okay, so what they found, like, the Grand Canyon. So they were trying to build a mall, and it, like, wasn't a sinkhole. It was like this, like,
it was just like a
historical Grand Canyon situation in New Jersey. And they don't know how far it goes down, and then this guy is just supposed to, like, stay there with his wife and baby.
This is the infinite abyss, Bridge. And the guy, like, they were like, why do you, like, live here? And he's like, well, I gotta make sure, like, nobody, like, goes in there, but also I explore it. And I was like, I've seen that horror movie, and it doesn't end well, sir.
It does not end
well. Stay indoors. I don't get it, but it's all to get the mom's necklace.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'd be like, thanks for giving me back the thing I stole, or the thing you stole.
Thanks for being a dick and, like, ruining my day, and, like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
It's just, like, I had a lot of moments where I went, just a lot of that.
But it wasn't like the movie wanted you to like them. That was one thing that I don't think they were saying, oh, you should try to like him. They were kind of like, yeah, these are people are all very much floundering in their mid-20s and don't really know what they're doing and where they're going, and now we're at some weird quarry. It was just, I thought this scene was so weird. I'm like, we could have picked anywhere else.
They literally said, good luck exploring the infinite abyss. And then, that's what Zach Braff says to the guy. And then the guy looks at him and he like cocks his chin up and he goes, you as well. And I was like, oh my God, the hipster. Just write it in your diary. We don't need to put it in the movie, you guys, okay?
I don't know, because they walk out with trash bags, they jump on a construction equipment, and then they yell into the abyss. All of them.
Yeah. That's where on your quirky bingo card, you check the fucking box off like, okay, we're so quirky, we did it. I think I wanted more scenes, because I like the next scene where it's Zach Braff and Natalie Portman are sitting, they're sitting in the bathtub, his mom died, which I was
they're sitting in the bathtub where his mom died.
Yeah.
And she is like, did you cry yet? And takes a cup and saves the one tear that comes out of his eye ducts.
Well, maybe I stand a little corrected. I didn't love that part, but I liked that they just felt like actual people a little bit more in this scene. Where it was kind of like a back and forth conversation. He talks a little bit more about just like the boarding school and his family and how he felt like his parents never saw him the same way and how his dad kept wanting to make it be like they were all a happy family, and then he was like, but we were never happy even before all that, so like it's all bullshit and made up, and like what is anything? And I don't even know. It's a lot. And then they bone, but we don't see it, which I was like, correct.
I like that. I don't need to see that.
We saw too many boobs already, you know. I'm like, I'm good. And then this is the great scene too. He goes in his dad's room, TV is blasting, dad's asleep. I mean, can you guys relate? Because we can.
We can.
And he just fucking yells, like, Dad! Wake up, Dad! I thought that was funny. And he was like, now we're gonna fucking talk about how you suck as a dad. What's up?
You know, I think he did a pretty decent job.
Yeah, I like that scene too. Yep.
The one thing that I thought was intriguing is he's like, you know, you sent me away and you gave me so much medication. Like, I haven't been taking it. And I am finally feeling things.
Right.
Eek. And I felt like his dad was kind of robotic about the whole thing.
Well, because his dad, I didn't write the quote down, but he said something that was like, it was like passive-aggressive. And it was referencing like...
he goes, you need to forgive yourself for what you did.
For what you did. Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, as a 9-year-old.
Like, holding grudges against children
is bizarre.
Is the most insane concept
children.
To me. Your own children. Just in general, I'm like, that is insane. Like, people who feel personally victimized by, like, a fucking kid, like, they don't know the world. They're learning the world. Help them learn the world instead of vilifying them. Jesus.
And his thing on, the little bits and pieces throughout the movies, you learn, like, his mom was pretty miserable, too. And
right.
I don't know. I don't know. You gotta figure with the dad, it's like, sending your kid away feels weird, too. I don't know. Like, wouldn't you want more help? Because now you have someone who's paralyzed in your house and you're all by you're working full time and you have to work.
But I think the dad was kind of like, I don't trust you around the mom because you hurt her.
Oh my God.
And Zach Braff says a line too to the dad where he's like, hey dad, it's okay. We're gonna be okay, you and me. And I was like, I don't know.
I don't think they are.
I don't know about that. 2, I don't know if we should. And 3, where's Natalie Portman? Did you leave her in the bed naked? Because it's definitely still nighttime. And I know you guys boned. So what are we doing?
Oh my God.
What's happening?
But I don't know, like, it's like Zach Braff got to his happy conclusion at the end of the conversation, but I don't feel like the dad was there. So then we left that kind of weird. And then you're just heading to the airport?
Yeah, they filmed this in JFK, which sucks. I'm I'm like, oh, what a bad airport. So sorry, Zach Braff.
I
You gotta go to Newark Terminal A, the real listeners know.
The latest Newark Terminal.
Terminal A! That's where you gotta film shit.
The shit right now.
The bamboo lounge chairs? Are you fucking kidding me?
I will blast there.
I will run to those. I'm like, there's one! Gotta get it. Oh, it's so
They
great.
had a jungle gym for kids.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What?
It's honestly top tier. But we were
where,
not there.
Here's where I was lost, okay? I wasn't as bothered as now I'm hearing you this whole film. I also was a little sleepy and was kind of watching / closing my eyes. Now when we get to this part, I'm like, sure, they had this little fun 4-day fling, and they'll just stay in touch, because, I don't know, they'll, like, call each other, or whatever. Maybe he'll move back home, or move somewhere else, or who cares? And instead it became the most dramatic...
Really?
7 minutes of the movie, where she's losing her shit saying goodbye, and he's like, I just gotta go figure out my shit. And I'm like, yes, you do. Your mom just died. You just unpacked a lot of stuff. You shared some crazy shit with your dad that you probably bottled up for 26 years. Yeah, like, you gotta go deal with yourself. And then, Katie, what happens? I'm just so disappointed in it.
He says the line, you changed my life. Anyway, I'm dumping you by. And if some fucking man ever decides that, you know what's the best way to dump Katie? Is to tell her how amazing she was and that she changed my life. And then be like, deuces forever. I would kill them. Maybe just kill their rep, but you know what I mean. It's bullshit. And then she's hysterically crying.
Hysterically.
It's just...
I kind of was like...
It's a lot.
In 4 days, I don't know if I'm crying that intensely for anybody I've ever met.
Now, you know what would have made her make more sense crying? Is if she had brain cancer and she didn't know how long she was going to live. And now this man's leaving and maybe they don't have enough time to reconnect. Zach Braff, call me and I'll help with your script.
So
you're welcome.
So then when I thought they were breaking up and I thought, okay, this is great. Like, this ends the movie.
That's how I was just kind of like, yeah, you should separate.
I like it, great. But instead,
no.
What, he leaves his plane.
He got on the plane.
He got on the plane, and then he got off the plane.
Did he have his luggage? Where's his luggage?
I thought about that. I go, your bags are absolutely going to LA.
There's no way you can get their bags back.
I mean, the logistics alone. And he runs back to her, and basically is like, we have this most amazing connection. How could I ever leave you? And she's like, yeah, that's what I was thinking. And in my head, I'm like, no one is thinking that. None of us are thinking this. And now the movie is garbage to me.
He literally,
you just made it this weird forced love thing when why couldn't we see into the future that she comes to visit you in LA and like you're still together? Like, why the fuck do we have to have this weird dumb rapper on this movie where he runs off a plane? I'm sorry, until I see it in real life, it ain't real, Katie.
It ain't
Everyone
happening.
on that plane is rushing to sit and no one's getting up ever for anything ever.
Definitely not. And the flight attendants would have been like, sir, sit the fuck down. You're not running back. We're trying to leave. Like,
she's like, TSA is following you, and they will take you out.
Yes, for real. That would have been great if he just gets tackled. Oh my god. That would have happened in Atlanta, probably.
So,
all right? I'm just saying.
So I gotta say, I just was like, I didn't like the ending. I was like, that was cheesy. But I liked 90% of it, and it's very nostalgic now when you rewatch it. Do we think it represented Jersey, though? I don't think so. It just could have been any town. I don't think this
represented Jersey at all. This could have taken place in any state in America, and I don't.
We didn't see any New Jersey iconic.
They talk about
landmarks,
Rutgers, and that's it. And I was like, okay. I mean. I don't know.
We didn't have one pork roll, egg, and cheese.
Nope.
We didn't talk about the incredible Italian food.
Didn't have any bagels.
We didn't have any bagels.
Any pizza.
What? I don't know. What else does New Jersey offer? The accents, the one aunt had a pretty funny accent, and I like that.
The once, twice, 3 times a lady?
Yes, that was great. But I don't know, if you and I were like writing the newest new Garden State movie, I feel like we'd be able to showcase a little more cool.
I would have it take place strictly at the beach. Not the Jersey Shore beach, but like, as in like the show Jersey Shore. Like, an actual beach. You know.
I will support you.
Yeah.
Watch it or don't watch it, Kate.
You know, for me, it's not. I'm not gonna watch it again. I don't think. I'm so sorry.
Well,
just because I keep thinking of what it could have been. I think that's my problem. There were just so many moments where I was like, ooh. But I'm also not Zach Braff, and we have different lives, and I don't know. Not for me. Bridge, what about you?
I mean, go watch it, but go in knowing there's lots of flaws, and but it's nostalgic. I'll tell you that.
Sure
At a
is.
certain age, I think it's nostalgic.
Yeah.
So I don't know. See
All
it
right.
once.
Bridge, it's my pick.
I don't know where you're gonna go because we've watched every surfer movie ever. There's no way there's another surfer movie.
No more surfing. No more.
Okay.
I don't think there's a beach in this movie. I guess it's hot and sweaty. We're going into a very different category. It's a hard R movie. So, what genre you think it is?
Oh, horror?
A little, but it also is like...
Why do you hate me?
It's also action-adventure sci-fi.
Okay.
Oh, and somebody labeled it as jungle adventure. I'm sorry. Is that a category? Is that an official category? Jungle adventure?
What year is this from?
This is from the 80s. This is 1987. It's rated R. We have a very iconic actor as our lead in this movie.
Have we done it before? Wait.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, is it Arnold?
It's Arnold. Do you know the movie?
Is it Rambo? Wait, no, he's not Rambo.
It's not Rambo.
I can't think
it's
of
the
it.
movie where he says, "Get to the chopper." It's from this movie.
What is it again?
This is a team of commandos. It's not Commando. We did that movie already. A team of commandos on a mission in a Central American jungle find themselves hunted by an extraterrestrial warrior. This is Predator.
Okay.
It's crazy.
Okay.
It's gory. It's Arnold. But it's also 80s. So, like, LOL, that's silly.
Okay, Predator is like the scary aliens I'm gonna see.
They kind of look like they have, like, dreadlocks.
Okay.
And, yeah, you'll know what I mean when you look at the alien. They're
yeah.
not, like, scary to look at, but they're scary because they, like, hunt the people, and the people don't know what's happening, and they're not there because of an alien, they're there for a different reason, but then, like, they gotta survive and not be killed by the alien, and it's crazy. There's a lot of macho man shit. I don't know, in this movie.
I'm seeing some scary Predator pictures. Am I gonna cry?
Oh, I don't know. Have you seen this movie?
I don't think I have. Hence why I was like, what is it?
You know, I don't think it's the type of scary movie where anything pops out.
Okay.
It's not like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever, let's do it. And get to the chopper, by the way. I quote that with James all the time, but I clearly don't know what the hell I'm talking about because I don't even think I've seen this movie.
Just get to the chopper. Well, Bridge.
Yeah.
I just want to say.
Yes.
If you came home with a boyfriend or whatever, or your husband, I guess, I don't know. And Mom was like, Bridget, you killed not a hamster. We didn't. I had a hamster.
A turtle.
You killed a turtle, Bridget.
That did happen.
Do something.
Uncle David found it, and I think to this day he still hates me.
You lost the turtle? Where'd he go?
No, the turtle died in the tank, and Uncle David found it, and he was like, "You're evil," and the shame still holds on since I was a child.
Do you want me to do a different example of love from this movie?
I'm just laughing because
I was gonna say I'd help you bury your dead animal and hold a funeral that was heartfelt, but maybe that's too on the nose, and I'm so sorry.
It's pretty close. And,
oh my god!
But you know what, Kate? I know that there's love there. So
there is.
Now, Kate, when I figure out the Velcro technology that was talked about in this film, but maybe no one's figured it out yet. Yeah. I will take those millions and we will make a better New Jersey movie, and you will write, direct, and star in it. Thank you so much. I will fund it.
There will be gardens. Okay, you guys. I'm just saying.
I just want the first scene being like flowers,
like
and then
flowers.
your head right there, like looking
just
at the
appears,
flowers,
like
just being like, see, there's flowers. It's a garden state.
Fucking garden state. Get off the parkway, bitches. Okay. Yeah, and listeners, if you also think New Jersey, if you think New Jersey is also a beautiful, magical state, and it's very misunderstood. Don't get it twisted.
Don't get it twisted.
If you think that, I don't know, the playlist is...
It's good!
It's good, it's hipster, it's got a vibe. The vibe is, like, chill.
Yeah. It's good road trip music. It's very, we're moving and grooving. I think this is probably the Elizabethtown piece that you felt.
Oh, I did love the Elizabethtown music. Yeah. And if you think that, like, when your pet dies, you absolutely should form a pet cemetery in your backyard. But I sincerely hope that you don't have billions of dead pets in your backyard. Because that's just... I don't know.
That's its own thing.
It's a different movie.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So if you think of that, you should write us a review.
Hey!
We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts, along with some other podcasting apps. And we also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. On our website, you can request a movie. So there is a form you can fill out. Your request goes in a list, and we look at the list every now and then, and we will do it eventually. And Bridge, what else can they do on our website?
They can just give us money.
Woo!
Give us money. We will make a better Garden State movie in
try.
2024. And
State
also buy merchandise that you'll look so cool and nostalgic and probably better than Zach Braff. Because I will say, I felt like he wore like the same outfit this entire film. And it was just like a baggy t-shirt and jeans. And I was like, this is 2004.
The budget went to all the other actors that he had to get.
It really did.
It's just
really
did. Yes, so check all that out, listeners. And we hope to hear from you. All right. Well, we'll see you next week for Predator. Get to the chopper! You have to listen for that part.
I'm scared. I'm going to watch it with the lights on. Okay, I'll see you there. I'm nervous.
You'll be fine. I love you.
Okay, I love you.
Crunchy carrots.
I'll eat my carrots. Okay.
Yeah. Lights on.
All right. Okay. We're gonna get there, folks. We love you.
Bye-bye.
We
love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswhoseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.